Chapter 5 The Wormhole. It was still early. As they walked to a small, destroyed food stall where boxes of food laid all over the ground and pieces of cloth were torn apart, they used the boxes as seats and started deciphering the next part of the riddle. "Alright, time to continue. Everyone ready?" Drake asked. The others nodded. "Then a musical construction of artistic production. Sounds like that is all we get for the next destination." "A musical construction," Julia said. "It's the opera house," Haru interrupted. Everyone turned to Haru. "Sorry?" Drake said, flabbergasted. "The opera house, in Sydney." "What? Not every part of the riddle is difficult. If you are familiar with the place, then it's quite easy if I do say so." Alright then. "It does seem correct to me," Maya said. "Just wish it'd be a little closer," Julia said. "Everyone ready for another hour-long flight?" "Bring it on," Drake said. Everyone raised, and they headed for the building and the helicopter. "So, do we have a say in this?" Lawrence whispered to Chop. They told the pilot about their next destination. "Sydney, you say? Well, if we leave now, we'll get there in the evening. Let's pray we'll be in time." "I think we will. We probably always will," Drake said. After too many hours of sea and land, uncomfortable seats, and the loud noise of the helicopter wings, they made it to Sydney. All cramped up, they exited the helicopter the moment they found a landing area. "I will go fill her up. Who knows where we're headed next?" The pilot yelled, trying to be audible as the helicopter's engine was still running. "Good luck." He ascended again and the loud noise faded away. "Where to now?" Maya asked. After a few minutes, they could see the opera house in the distance. "There we go," Haru said. "But no monsters." "Think we're early," Maya said. "It's constantly waiting for us. Why?" Drake wondered. "Let's try to get inside to see if we can find the portal. It should already be there," Maya said. They followed her to the building. The opera house was a large construction, colored white in the majority, with bent roofs and glass windows. It was definitely a construction of artistic production, and inside the building it was just as artistic. They told the woman at the entrance what danger was awaiting them and who they were. Because of her love for the building, she decided it was best to trust them and help them protect it. She gave a short tour through the building in case they needed to know the layout. In the meantime, they waited for anything out of the ordinary, and like their arrival triggered it, something unordinary did occur. In one of the rooms where a concert was going on, the vocalist stopped singing. She and many others started screaming. The others stormed inside and saw cracks appearing in the podium. It was being broken apart. The ground shook heavily and the show was interrupted as everyone fled the scene. The opera singer was heard screaming the loudest. "What's happening?" Maya said worriedly. "Guys," Chop started. "We know what to do. Everyone recall?" "Of course we do. We know exactly what to do," Duzel answered. "How could we forget?" Lawrence said. "Let's do what we did back then," Lenny said. The whole building was being evacuated. Before the building was emptied, the cracks in the podium revealed their opponent. An earthworm arose from the depths. A gigantic worm with 2 tiny eyes, 100 teeth, and extreme destructive powers slithered before them. It was destroying the decoration and the podium, and aimlessly swallowing everything it could find. They all started running towards the monster. Duzel started off by throwing his discus against the worm, and surprisingly enough, it cut right through its skin. Chop followed up by hitting the worm with its axe at the exact same spot, managing to cut off its entire upper body. "Wait, that was it?" Drake asked, surprised. "This one was easy compared to the one we fought before," Chop shouted as he faced the other dwarves. "Chop?" Then he started. "It's not just a regular earthworm." Chop turned around and noticed something off. The worm was regenerating. It was regaining its entire upper body part. It was back to normal in mere seconds, only there was one difference. Its eyes had gotten much bigger. The monster had gotten furious and tried to snatch Chop, who jumped out of the way in time. The creature was screeching, which was hurtful for the others. "It has to have been bewitched of some sort, just like the spider you killed before," Lawrence said while facing Julia. "What do we do?" Maya asked. Chop hit the worm again, and the dwarves followed up with several blows. As they kept cutting off parts, the worm still kept regenerating. Every time they delivered blows that should have killed the monster, it instead gained something. At first, it gained bone spikes on its back, followed by sharper and larger teeth, continuously gaining bigger eyes and better sight, and eventually a wider body. "Guys, stop! Every time you kill it, it evolves," Drake called out. Before Drake said that, they killed the creature again. "Doesn't it have any weaknesses?" Haru asked. "Water, but do you have any idea of how to lure him outside?" Chop asked. The worm regenerated once again, and this time gained wings. "Why does that thing need wings?" Haru asked. They were completely unsure of what to do. They kept dodging its attacks, but couldn't dodge forever. Eventually, Lawrence was forced to attack as he would have been toast otherwise. His attack cut through the worm, killing it again. Well, killing it. The creature started regenerating and gained a new skill. The creature's mouth closed and trembled. "Get out of there, Lawrence!" Julia yelled the moment she realized something. It was what Lawrence said before about the spider. She remembered the spider was bewitched with a self-destruct that could poison the entire forest. Poison. Lawrence moved out of the way before the monster opened the hole supposed to be its mouth and started spitting venom. Julia then knew what to do. She ran towards the tapestry in the back, still hanging from the ceiling. "Julia," Drake said. "Its weakness is its evolutions," she explained. She managed to get past the worm and climb the tapestry. Eventually, she took the leap and got onto the head of the monster, avoiding the spikes on its back. She had pulled an arrow and stuck it into the head of the monster. She tried to hold on to the arrow, hoping that it wouldn't break, and waited until the monster would look up. When it did, Julia leaned forward, looking straight into the eyes of the worm. The worm attacked by spitting venom, exactly what Julia had hoped for. Julia jumped off and grabbed the tapestry while the venom went straight up and hit the worm itself. The earthworm screeched loudly as it burnt itself. The creature was steaming as it lost its skin and floundered around until it dropped dead. The venom stopped him from regenerating, and they defeated another defender of the portal. Or well, the defender defeated itself. The worm slowly slid back through the hole, and like a wormhole, it was the portal the worm fell back into. Julia saw the portal close before she reunited with the others. "You surprise me every time," Drake said. "Well, get used to it," Julia answered. Julia looked at the hole and said, "The portal is closed. We're done here." "That explains why there are no monsters around," Drake said as he realized the portal must have been in the hole. "Time to go?" Maya asked. "Time to go," Drake replied. "Thank you very much. Please come back soon," the woman who gave them the tour said proudly and with a lot of gratitude as they made their way out of the opera house. After all, her building was saved. Well, partially.